Guys, I don't know about you, but I certainly didn't choose this topic. But we're here anyways. Planes, creepy trains, and pirate ships. Today on.
So wait, is this part 2 or not?
Don't
But I don't
part
wanna
two
call it
over the
part two.
intro.
Don't segment over the intro.
Gosh, what a mess.
That's what happens when you have all four of us. Welcome back, everybody, to another Friday episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite, clearly retro podcast that is always on time. I am your host tonight,
We're
Chuck
one of
Oak
those
with,
things. Don't be hating. Jesus Christ, we're
I'm not
retro this
hating,
week.
I didn't choose this topic or choose to be the host of this episode. But anyways, I am not alone. Of course, I can't host by myself. That would be crazy. But I have three of my four friends hanging out with me today. Let's go around robin and ask how everybody's doing. Jake, how are you, my friend?
Oh, shit. Why are you asking me first? I'm doing great. It's Friday. It's the second day of spring. We got a little bit of snow. I'm still trying to sit up, asshole. So you usually don't go to me first. I'm great. Thank you. Glad to be here. Next.
I'm sorry. We did last episode, you and I together. You were the only one there.
Yeah, but then I don't have a choice.
TV here. Sistar, how are you, sir?
You know, I think I'm better than Jake.
Clearly
Wait, isn't that a band name?
better than Ezra.
No, better
Well,
than
less
Ezra
than
and less
Jake.
than Jake.
Oh,
There it
that's
is.
right. That's what it is.
Which one are
Less
you?
than Jake.
I don't know
less
if you guys
than
are screwing with me or not. Is that are those real band
No,
names?
there is some
Those are real
band called
bands,
Less Than
yes.
Jake. It's a ska
I'm
band,
one,
yeah.
I'm
Better
one
than
of
Ezra is
half,
the
and
alternative rock.
I'm one
In
and
my
half,
head
and
for years, I've been
Yeah.
like, so are you better than Ezra or less than Jake?
Nobody's better than Ezra.
I'm better than one and half of the other. It's fine.
I have to look this up now.
half less than Jake.
He still thinks we're messing with him.
Yeah,
No, it's
dude.
real band. It's true. Swear to
Like,
God, it's a real
Chart
band.
and I
We're-
said them at the
Yeah.
same time. So
yeah.
That doesn't
Less
mean
Than
nothing.
Jake is a ska band, and Better Than Ezra is an alternative rock
Less
band
Than
from the
Jake.
90s.
Fuck, it is a ska band. How have I
yes,
not
yeah.
known this?
Because they don't play your favorite song covered
Yeah.
by everybody called her.
Yeah,
I like
they,
ska.
They didn't make the original of your favorite song.
No. Okay.
Anyways, let's turn this into a classic
man.
90s alternative rock scene.
We're
that was a hell of
talking-
a tangent, dudes.
We're talking Trent Reznor today.
Yeah, today,
No, we're not doing
They
that
are.
again.
better than Reznor. Wolf, how are you? Since you understand, you get it.
Yeah, I get it. I'm all right. I am really hoping to get my Mr. Pie soon. It looks like it's finally going to be up for sale again. I'm hoping.
Nice. Mr. Pie was the name of my four-piece ska big band group in high school, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of high school, let's talk about nothing related to that. Today's episode is going to be a secondary sequel, if you will, a continuation of a previous topic that the four of us got together and discussed. If you remember a couple episodes ago, we did discuss planes, trains, and spaceships, mobiles.
Yes.
Where we picked four of our favorite driving, flying, simulation type games. And we did have a second one kind of queued up to talk about during that episode. But since we were so enthralled by Courier Crisis, it was difficult for us to continue for another hour, another set of games. So we all made the executive decision to live the life of couriers and extend this to another day. So here you are. Lucky you. You get to be back to hear us talk
What-
about more about it's not simulations per se, but games that involve being on some kind of vehicle. Sinister, yes.
Listen, you say we were enamored. I actually was just ready to be done with that episode because I needed to go watch the Wing Commander movie.
Wow, that's fair. That's
As
fair.
we all
Isn't that
did
the one with John
that week.
Travolta?
We all watched Wing
Yeah.
Commander.
Fre-
It's such
Freddie
a
Prinze
classic.
Jr. is
That's
is a goddamn national treasure.
Get in, loser. We're watching Wing Commander.
That's right.
Well, here we are. We're back. We've made our triumphant return back to Press B to Cancel. Or four of us have decided to crawl ourselves out of our adulting holes to show our some of us less than beautiful, most of us beautiful faces talking about myself there. To all of you guys. So we might as well just dive into this because we know the games. We know that the points don't matter. Let's go round robin. Jake, I'm not going to pick you first. So I'm going to go with Sinistar because I got yelled at last time I picked you first.
You almost had me because
So you're
I
going
do not have
last.
my
How does
video
that make
queued
you
up
feel?
yet.
Yeah, I queued
So-
you up. You're bottom. You're bottom of the rung today, baby.
Wow.
Love you, Jake.
Story of
Anyways,
my life.
I'd hug you if you were anywhere near me. Sinistar, what game, what vehicular manslaughter game are you talking about today?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk Sea of Thieves, which I know isn't entirely a ship simulator.
It
But I
takes
do-
place 90% of the ship, though.
Yeah, well, and I want to talk about an honorable mention that's like, I played the other one first and then played Sea of Thieves, and I was like, Sea of Thieves, it felt like Sea of Thieves basically borrowed a lot. Anyway, so Sea of Thieves. Okay, so it's a pirate simulator. You drive around the seas. It has some of the coolest looking water in a video game, in my
Yes.
opinion. Period.
Agreed.
It is absolutely glorious. Now, it does have elements of, much like American Truck Simulator, it is an RPG.
No, it's not.
No. Although
Don't-
it actually does have aspects that I didn't know about. I played this game for years.
Okay.
I played this game for years as a pirate ship simulator. You have somebody that's piloting the ship, behind the wheel. You have people that are doing gunner duty. You have people that have to go repair when you take damage. There's a crow's nest for when you're trying to spot, islands or, other ships, etc. There's
Play
very
shanties.
yeah.
Play
There's
shanties.
very cool naval combat where A, you have cannons, but B, you can also pull up alongside and you have, grenades that are, these big glass jars with different, flavors of flame or similar. And you can, of course, jump onto the other ship and try to take out their crew. Or my favorite, you can put yourself in a cannon and you can launch yourself onto
Or your
their
dog.
ship.
Or
Yeah.
your pets.
Yeah.
You shoot your pets
So-
across the water. It's pretty cool.
Now, it does have aspects. We talked a little bit in Wing Commander. There was a Wing Commander game called Privateer, which was basically kind of a trade version. This does have aspects of collecting items, taking them to the correct place, selling them for money, etc. Now, to be fair, I had no idea that the factions had value. I had no idea that the factions had value. I was playing one day with Bridget and I think Stripey, and they're like, "Hey, look at this door that's hidden in the fucking pub." I'm like, "What the shit is this?" And well, once you get your faction up to a certain degree, there's areas that unlock. I played this for years and had zero idea.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a
So,
while
I
since
did-
I played, but what's behind those doors? I remember factions. I think one of them, I remember they had some gameplay changes to them, but I didn't realize there's unlockable stuff. Well, what's in those doors?
I think honestly most of it is cosmetic. You get additional cosmetic unlocks,
Mhm.
But and I think you can maybe sell differently. Don't quote me on that because honestly, I've only experienced it once.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. And then
Jeez.
now one of the things I really had a problem with in this game is they, a lot of multiplayer games do a lot of predictive, movement checks and stuff like that. So that, hey, if you're moving this direction, if you've got a, a ping that's too high or something like that, the game kind of handles that for you. But in this case, the game does not. And we noticed that a lot of people that had, very low pings were able to get on our ships before we could see them in our game and stuff like that. And so we were like, you know what? Fuck this, we're done. Then they came out with the PvE versions, and we kind of went back to this. I really kind of should go back and play this again. I did play the PvE quite a bit.
Yeah.
So now I do want to throw out a quick honorable mention to a game called Guns of Icarus. I love Guns of Icarus. Sadly, it kind of started losing playership, but it's essentially airships, balloons above, lifting up ships. So you're in the air, and you actually take on different roles. There's like a captain role that gives you certain powers of a captain, and there's gunner roles, etc. And so very similar to this, but it doesn't have the aspect of getting off and going onto islands, etc. You literally are just on your ship. So but as I said, it felt when I played Sea of Thieves, it felt very much like that. So yeah, but I love the Sea of Thieves, and I should go back to it. Sorry.
We played Sea of Thieves religiously for a while. Bridget, myself, Retro Shred, and KVK. We used to do late night pirating together, and it's fun. And the aspect of you could just sail around the boat. You don't even have to do nothing. You just sail around in the water and just sing your shanties and run into islands and all kinds of stuff. But when you go and get the treasure from certain areas, there's like certain treasure chests that have like curses upon them that make it like one of the treasure chests cry real bad, and it
starts
floods
to sink
your
your
ship and will sink your boat. So you have to pour the water out of the boat and run up and down and stuff. It's really cool. There's not a lot of dull moments in Sea of Thieves. This one, it's one of those games that I kind of reluctantly was like, yeah, maybe I'll pick it up and see what it's all about when it was on sale one time or another. And it was just insane. Like, we played this thing for hours, and I didn't even know how much time I lost playing Sea of Thieves. This can easily get, with the right crew and the right people, this can easily become an addictive game.
I want to call out one of my absolute favorite things to do. I played this with Brother of Sin and my cousins. One of my absolute favorite things to do was to go out and try to find the megalodon.
Yeah.
And then hook the megalodon with your grapple and just ride the wave, baby.
Yep.
The ship is just going nuts because this thing's just dragging you around. It's so good.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I played this when it was on Game Pass, when I had Game Pass, and at first I wasn't into it because I was playing by myself, and then eventually randomly found a group and got together and played, and I had one of the most best experiences where we were just sailing, working together, finding an island. There was undead everywhere. You had to work together to take it down, and on the island was like a hidden pirate treasure vault or something. I have no idea how common those things are, but it was just the whole experience of going into the vault, looting everything, and we're talking loot, so much loot we had to make multiple trips from the boat back to the cave.
Yep.
It was wild. And like, we were sailing back to town to go sell it, and it was just having a blast. It was a good solid hour, and then till we met another player ship that came after us.
Yeah.
And then we spent 30 minutes trying to avoid another pirate ship, only to like make landfall at town, only to have another ship around the corner start ganking us.
Yep.
And that's what ruined it for me, right? The PvP, I know it's designed with PvP in mind. I know it's a PvP game. I get what it is. I get it. You're pirates, fine. Right. But for me, the best part of this game was playing casually with people online, working together to be pirates, not the actual like stealing of shit, I guess.
Piracy itself.
Well,
yeah, and I get it. So
since you're into that, I think it's been a year and change. They introduced specifically a PvE series of servers. Like, you can just do PvE. There's no, like, if you see a ship on a horizon, it's pirates. It's like AI pirates or skeleton crew or something.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I would love to try again. Like, I don't have Game Pass anymore, but I've thought about picking this one up. Like, if we ever want to do this as a group, I would definitely jump on board with this, because I love the sailing.
Let's go. This is
like
fun.
The sailing feels awesome. The shooting is awesome.
Yeah.
The whole just having that one goober on the deck of the ship just constantly playing the frickin' hurdy-gurdy or the accordion constantly when he should be loading the cannons. Like, it's a fun ass time.
Or up on the crow's nest, ringing the bell constantly.
Yeah. Like, or someone leaving food on the stove so it catches the boat on fire.
Yeah.
Bridget.
Oh, but I love the aspects of this. Like, you go look at the map table, and the person that's like moving the map is doing it for like everyone. It's just it's cool. It's not this like separate experience. You were all on the same ship.
Yeah.
You know, so many multiplayer games, it's like, do you see what I'm seeing? No, I'm seeing this thing I'm seeing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, this is a good call.
Bridget's
Yeah,
saying she got better at cooking. Sure.
It's a good time. This is an awesome game, especially online. I would love to go back and do the PvP stuff. I know they had a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover. I haven't done that. I would
Yeah.
love to go and do that. I know they've done tons of updates over the years. They're not stopping. Like, I mean, this is pretty much the last Rare game that's been out for a while, right? I know they're working on other stuff, but it's been Sea of Thieves from them for the longest time. So I wouldn't mind checking it out again.
Press B to pirate. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's press B to swashbuckle. Press B to sail. I'm all about it.
So,
all right. Well, clearly this is a good choice. We've had some good
This
aspects.
is one I've had an interest in, but I've never played.
And
it does seem pretty cool.
Honestly, the first time I jumped into this game, I'm not kidding. I probably just watched the water for like 20 minutes. I was like,
it's really
coolest. This is the coolest water I've seen.
I mean, everything in the game is
pretty
fairly
impressive.
cartoonish looking. Like it's just kind of has that cartoonish outlook. But I'll tell you what, you get on that water and you're just sailing, and you kind of almost like you're just hypnotized by the surroundings that you're in. They're some of the easily the most beautiful water ever produced in the game without ray tracing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's just zen. It's just zen.
Absolutely. All right, man. Good pick. We love it. We dig it. Wolf, what game do you have for us to talk about today?
So I am bringing in an old game from the Xbox. I didn't know this before, but now I do. It is apparently a sequel.
Oh.
So Crimson Skies for the Xbox is actually called Crimson Skies High Road to Revenge. It never really explicitly mentions that it's a sequel, but I guess there was a first game that was on PC and in arcades just called Crimson Skies.
Sorry, I'm going to interject. I sort of, when you said Crimson Skies, honestly, I might be thinking of the PC game.
Maybe. So the PC game takes place in 1937. The Xbox game takes place in 1938. It's
I picked the wrong
I understand.
Game?
Mostly the same game. No, did you find High Road to Revenge?
I don't know. I just picked one.
I think High Road to Revenge.
Xbox. Yeah. I think I got.
I might have picked the wrong one.
Yeah,
I had videos
right
already, so I don't know what's. If
Jared put the right
one
one in there.
My bad. Anyway.
Okay.
But oh my goodness. So I don't know if you guys. Yeah, that does not look like the same game, Jake.
Keep going.
I remember the PC.
I don't know if you guys remember Tailspin.
Yes.
From Disney Afternoons.
Oh yes.
With I wanted an airfoil more than anything.
Is so much better a Tailspin game than any licensed Tailspin game ever was. Right?
That's fair.
You're flying across the skies around skyscrapers, cliff sides, fighting off air pirates with dirigibles floating around and all sorts of. Oh my goodness. I absolutely loved the shit out of this game. The acting for a 2003 game was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's.
So they didn't come from Konami and their terrible 2001 acting?
Yeah, this was under Microsoft Game Studios. It was FASA Studio, but it was under Microsoft.
Yeah. Oh, this was FASA?
Oh, that's the Battletech
apparently,
guys, right? Yeah.
And apparently,
and Shadowrun. Sorry.
I guess it was a board game before it was a video game.
Huh.
So Crimson Skies starts as a board game in 98. Kind of wild. That's something I didn't know until I was researching this either. Wow. Thank you, Bridget, for that. Oh,
yes. Yes.
That's just stuck in my head all
sometimes
night
sometimes that theme song gets stuck in my head for a couple of days at a time. Not gonna lie.
We all have it stuck in my head. I remember seeing this game. It was touted a lot in a lot of, like, I guess the GameStops that I'd go to and when I was shopping and stuff, and I'd always see it, but I'd never was like, I think I need to pick this up. But now that I'm watching this, I'm like, I guess I should have picked this up. This must have been something that I probably would have enjoyed.
It's so cool. It's got like a dozen planes, different planes, all upgradable. So the game has it has two forms of currency. There's tokens and there's money. And you need both to be able to upgrade different amounts of each for whatever you're upgrading. But it's such a good game. I remember just being enthralled by the story and the world building because it's from like after World War One, the Great Depression happened and Prohibition, and it tore the U.S. apart. And so now it's in like 30 nations. Okay. Which, I mean, it doesn't sound all that unfamiliar at this point, but
right.
I'm just worried about Man in the High Castle. It's fine.
But I mean, page 2 of the manual straight up says no more USA.
Oh,
no more USA. Wow.
Because why not?
Yeah. But I mean, it was really neat because it's got like different territories that are like some of the nations folded into like parts of Canada. So Canadian territories are part of Northwest and all that. And then like, you know, California is called Hollywood instead of California.
So it's a FASA game. It's a FASA game because Shadowrun basically redivided everything too. Yeah. So yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, they're good at the lore building of what their worlds are like. Like, yeah, for even BattleTech has some for a board game, for a strategy board game, BattleTech has some very deep ass lore. Like the FASA went overboard on the lore. So it's kind of neat that this is a thing too. I didn't realize it's a board game. I was looking it up on my phone. This is pretty rad. That's a game based on a board game.
Yeah, right. Like I need to look into the board game a little more now. But it just the level design.
Yeah. All this area always looks like it reminds me of like the Rocketeer. Like it's, you know, it's got
and
that kind of
what
feel
I'm saying.
to it. Like I really like the artwork in it.
Yeah, this game, like that's why I say it reminds me of Tailspin, because like you're flying around Chicago through like arches and buildings and stuff, and it reminds me of Cape Suzette from Tailspin. And honestly, flying around in the Chicago stage at the end of the game, it was so cool because like everything's just above the cloud layer.
Yeah.
And you got like certain buildings where there's runways and they're just kind of stacked. And I don't even remember the city being collapsible. That's wild.
Yeah.
There you go. This is cool.
Yeah,
I like the design.
The
plane designs are really neat. Cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It is a really neat alternate history game, and the world building and just the different stuff you deal with. And like it opens already really interesting because the first thing you see in the first cutscene is a dude pointing a gun at the camera.
So what you're saying is it's Visage.
It's Visage. Yeah.
So dude's pointing a gun at the camera and saying, you know, a guy comes and collects his debts early, and then you see the main character like in bed coming to after, you know, a night of drinking and debauchery. The guy's like, always collect your debts early, and peels out. And then he jumps out of bed and there's a woman in bed next to him. And she says something, and he's like, hoping I was a gentleman last night, but I got a plane to catch, and he's out. And he runs out and jumps on the plane as it's taking off. Like, that's how the game opens. That's kind of fun, right?
Like you do.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
You know, a lot of the ways this game reminds me of Rogue Squadron. I don't know if you guys ever played that Star Wars game.
Yeah, Rogue
Just
Squadron
in terms of like
good.
the presentation and how the flying looks in this, it looks really slick. I should go back and play this. I missed it on so much of the Xbox library, and I definitely missed it on this one. This one looks fantastic. Did it get a sequel or something? Like, what's the other game that I found?
This was the sequel.
Okay.
Crimson Skies was the first one for PC and arcade in 2000.
Okay.
High Road to Revenge is the sequel that came out in 2003 on Xbox.
Got it. Okay.
And this had online multiplayer too. I remember like jumping on Xbox Live and just playing with randos and shooting them down and having a wonderful time. Like it was great.
Okay.
We keep threatening, and I'm giving away a little bit of how the sausage is made. We keep threatening that we need to talk about the Xbox, OG Xbox and 360. So, yeah.
There is lore. There's Chardbunk lore connected to the Xbox. and a tax return that was completely spent on buying an Xbox and half of the games in GameStop. But I'll save that for another episode.
There you go.
Fantastic.
No, this okay. So when you said Crimson Skies, I genuinely was thinking the PC version, which I love the PC version. It's a great game. I don't know that I played the Xbox version.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I never played
like
the PC one, so I got to look into that and see if there's a way I can play that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game that every once in a while, my brain is just like, you should play that again.
Got an itch.
And I never bother to hook up the Xbox at the time that happens because I'm like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is. It is. This one briefly was set up for a hot minute, and then I was like, I'm done. Lost Odyssey, I'm done.
Xbox emulation's okay nowadays, right?
Yeah.
OG Xbox.
Yeah.
OG Xbox, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even 360, I think, has some emulation. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that with my game. But 360 emulation is really solid. Like I was messing with that last week.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, we're talking the dreaded E word.
E word? Oh. It's safe here. It's a safe space for that word.
It's okay. We're not talking about Nintendo games this week. It's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we like planes.
Stupid.
What are you looking for?
Here somewhere?
What?
What is he looking for?
What are you
Mark
looking
your bingo
for?
cards. Wolf is leaving his chair. He's about to.
No, I was looking for my Xbox. I don't know where I left it.
I know where.
In its box, and that box is not small.
Look,
hard to miss. It's huge.
Oh, it's not in its box.
We're talking OG Xbox. OG, not
I don't have the
360.
OG.
Yeah.
I have 360.
There we go. There we go.
One. There it is.
I know where mine is, and I even moved.
Yeah, I don't know where mine is.
Well, I mean, that's unfair. You moved. You should know where your stuff is.
Well,
Wow.
well,
That's
Not how it works.
I
moved
Like
it. I
not
don't know
at
where
all.
anything is.
Well, okay, if you know how to move, that's how it works.
Well,
listen,
I don't know how to move.
half my shit's
I'm gonna
in
throw
boxes.
shade now.
Half my shit's in boxes, and I don't know where it is.
Okay, I'm gonna.
It's still in the truck.
This is not gaming related, but maybe it is if you're a gamer and you move. Pro tip on moving: use different colored duct tape on your boxes for each room so that you have them divided by room, and number them and make a brief list of what's in that number.
No, God, I ain't
That
got
sounds
time
like
for
a whole lot of
I
planning.
throw it in a trash bag and put it in the car and drive it to the house. And then go, I'll get to that later and go, where did all my stuff go? It's probably in a trash bag.
Well,
wadded up in the garage
having
door.
moved many hours away many times in my life, that's
He's got
something
the
I've
We got a
learned.
learned.
system
I ain't
of
got
laundry
time.
baskets. That's how we do it. Plastic laundry baskets.
There you
Put
go.
blankets on top to keep shit down when it's in the back of a truck. That's how we do it.
There you
It's
go.
just- that's the Canadian way.
Nice.
We only have one
Wait,
color
you
of duct
don't-
tape
you
up
don't-
here.
You don't save your milk bags and just pack in your milk bags?
I know you're being an asshole, but we do reuse those bags for a bunch of different things. They're sturdy plastic bags, and they're really good for storing shit. Because they come, you have the little clip, the plastic clips. You can just clip it up.
My favorite part of that is I know you're just being an asshole because he's not wrong.
Brilliant.
They're useful
Brilliant.
to save. We reuse up here. It's part of saving the environment. Reuse your plastic bag.
Your like house is like hanging all fat and saggy in the bottom.
Saggy in the bottom. Big old bag of milk. Big old plastic bag of milk.
It's
Big old
fresher,
Walmart
okay?
bag of milk.
Sorry we derailed Wolf.
Anyways, yeah. This plane has hit the mountain. The plane has crashed into the mountain.
Looking at that video and hearing the intro video, I need to play this game.
Yeah, this
it
was
looks
a
good.
game that when I got it for the Xbox, I could not put this down. Both myself and my brother absolutely fell in love with it.
Okay.
I probably played through it within 2 days and then went back and did all the extra stuff because I was like, I gotta unlock everything.
Nice.
I want to throw this out there. So watching the video, it looked a little bit like Panzer Dragoon Orta.
I could see
Did you play that?
Um, I might have it, but I don't think I played it.
Okay. It looked a little like Panzer Dragoon Orta, and I loved that game.
It is mostly basically arena dogfights, and
Okay.
the arenas are usually pretty big. What the hell is happening here?
Bridget's throwing shade.
No, that's just we're talking about Canadian milk.
there's-
Apparently, we need to cover
yeah.
the Canadian milk. here.
Yeah.
Well, drink milk, love life. Put it in a bag.
Brought to
They
you
don't
by
show the
local
I was
dairy
hoping they'd
farmers.
show the bags and they don't, which is kind of pissing me off now that they
No,
don't show
but
the
somebody
fucking bag.
kissed a glass of milk.
Well, yeah, you know.
I'm loving life in the bag.
Wow.
You too,
Okay.
boy. Okay.
This is a different commercial, and still somebody kissed the glass of milk.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
No. Okay. No. Panzer Dragoon Orta was very much on rails. So this maybe it's entirely different because
Right. So it's
Yeah.
it's got most of the gameplay is you're flying around in a plane dogfighting, right? And then some of it is you're doing like sort of speed challenges flying around through obstacle courses and whatnot. And then some of it is you're in a gun on like some fixture on another vehicle or a mountainside or what have you, just targeting everything that's coming by and trying to shoot everything out of the sky. So it's got multiple
Okay.
factors of play. And so it tries to mix it up pretty well. And oh man, this is such a good game. And I still remember thinking the story in this was so badass.
yeah.
okay.
And
Cool.
if I'm not mistaken, in the credits, somebody on staff was nicknamed Papa Bear,
Be better.
All
if it was
right.
blue.
which is what Kit called Baloo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right.
Perfect.
No. Okay. I
Yeah.
may have to pull out the dreaded E word and make this happen.
Make it happen.
My Xbox works questionably, so
It's fair.
we'll talk about that outside the episode.
Well, yeah. Or in a different episode. All right. Planes are cool. That was a cool game. I'm interested. It obviously has piqued all of our interests to go and check out Crimson Skies for the Xbox, the original Xbox. We're gonna land this one though. We're gonna take the plane down and land it onto some rails. Speaking of rails, well done, good transition. I'm gonna go ahead and drop off into my game, which was a Unequity that I did not think was going to be what it turned out being. There was a joke going around about this game, and then it turned into a reality. And I gotta say, it was actually pretty good. And I played it way early on its release. I think I got it real quickly when it came out. So
Mhm.
there's had to have been some major updates to the game since I last touched it. But for the sake of this episode, and not feeling like we had a lot of train-driven games, I went ahead and jumped on this. We went with Choo Charles, which is a first-person horror suspense game where you are chased by a train demon that looks like a giant spider. The concept of the game is you are dropped on this island that is full of people. You don't know how you got here, but you know that the people need help because they are terrorized daily and nightly by a train by the name of Choo Charles, who is a demon who basically just kills everybody around the countryside. Yes, Jay.
Question.
What do you got? Yes.
Can you just not avoid the tracks to escape the demon?
Well,
it's a spider.
It's a spider train, so it goes everywhere. So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
don't have to be on the
Okay.
tracks.
No, in
However-
fact, you have to live on the tracks if you want to get
However,
your
yes.
shit done.
You have to be
Yeah.
on the tracks. So you are provided with a train, with a small train engine and a car attached to it that has a machine gun, essentially. And you upgrade this train to make it faster, better armor, and better weaponry. And you drive all over the island trying to help the people of this island while also trying to get rid of Choo Charles. There are some crazy encounters with this game where the spider demon train will be right up in your face as you're just blasting away at it with a machine gun. It's extremely straightforward and it's very interesting, but it was a lot of fun, and it had some good spooks in it. It had some good jump scares in it.
I was gonna say it's straightforward and it's terrifying at the same
It is
time.
terrifying. Yeah, you go underground and you could go inside to look for some stuff, and you pick up all kinds of different upgrades and stuff for your train as you're rolling around the island. And there it is. There's the giant demon train chasing you. It is This game is so unique, and I don't know how to explain it other than just play it. Go find it, pick it up, try it out. It's a lot of fun. It's silly, and there's points where it kind of feels like, all right, it's repetition. I run around the island, I roll around on the train, I shoot demon train in the face. But I don't know of many games that have this kind of attribute
Well,
to it
I was going to say, I think this is the only Demon Train game that I know of.
that I'm aware of. Yeah, this
Or
is
at
the
least
only
ones with
survival
spider
horror
legs, I
game
guess. You
that
know,
has a
Yes.
demon spider train, which you can actually get. And I've been wanting to buy a plushie of Choo Choo Charles, and I want to put it up in the wall there because that would be kind of neat to have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
doll of Choo Choo Charles. So,
are there upgrades in this game at all, or no?
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Lots.
You go around and you'll find paint that you can paint your tank engine different colors. You get upgrades for your weapons, different kind of weaponry. It's kind of like a blast shotgun upgrade, and then a machine gun upgrade, and then a bunch of other different tips.
A rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher. As you add more armor to your train bulks up, so it looks like it's got different kind of armors and pieces on it. And while it's attacking you, you have to repair it while he's hitting your train while you're rolling around. So there is a little bit of management that needs to be done to keep your train still rolling on the tracks. But there's nothing scarier than hearing the choo choo of Charles as you're just kind of bebopping around, because of course, like any great horror game, the atmosphere is what really draws you in, and it's usually the audio atmosphere. And this game does not disappoint. There's a lot of quiet portions, wind blowing in the background, set you up in a nice little area. And the coloration, which is there's a lot of red lights and neon lights, just kind of are very off-putting. And then all of a sudden you hear choo choo, and you can hear something trustling around in the hills, and you see spider legs coming out of a bush, and it happens to be a giant demon train, where you go, oh crap, and you jump in your train and you hit full blast, and then he sees you, and then he tracks you down, and you're just running. And it's very intense.
One of my favorite things, and the developer that made this, it was basically one dude.
I think
it was.
Yeah.
And the developer that made this kind of like video blogged like portions of his development, and he'd be like, so I had to figure out the physics of a rocket launcher, and he talks about how, like, I mean, it's really interesting. And he'll be like, so I made this thing. Well, and it made Choo Choo Charles so much worse.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I think I'm just going to keep it in the game. you know?
I mean, there's portions of the track or portions of the area where you can take out the track, or you take out a building, and it does extra damage to Charles, or it takes him out so that you can escape and get away from him. Because there's times where he's just glued to you and you can't go any faster, and he's just grabbing onto your train and doing all kinds of stuff. It's such a unique concept to a horror game that, again, we were all laughing about it because it was wish listed on Steam years before it was actually released. And we were like, this thing ain't ever going to see the light of day. There's no way. And then sure shit, the next day they're like, oh, it's got a release date. And it was worth it. It's worth every second that I played in this game. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of Choo Choo Charles. So if you guys like horror games, and you know that I'm big on the horror aspect of most of these games, and you want a unique take on a train simulation game, play Choo Choo Charles. This is
absolutely
a lot of fun.
No, this game, I watched you play this. Honestly, I think I got what I wanted out of watching you play it. But
that's fair.
But honestly, like, if you haven't played this, buy it and play it. And if you have played it and you haven't watched, go watch the developer's blog.
Yeah.
It's the most telling thing that this guy's like, so I've never developed a game before. You
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not polished. It's janky as hell, as to be expected, because it's an indie game, so you don't expect much from it. But if the guy was like, this is the first time I've ever done this, I'd be like, you're crazy, because this is a really well put together game for somebody who's never put together a game before. So
yeah,
I think that's the power of what he's used. He used Unreal Engine 4, which Unreal Engine 4, like the toolkit that you get for that, which you can get for free. Anybody can download it now, which is fantastic. And the license to use it, I think it's only if you're out over a certain amount of sales that you start paying. But it's incredibly generous for indie developers or just average person off the street who wants to make games. And it's incredibly easy to use. No coding required, really. I mean, is it going to be janky? Yes. But the fact that you can go in and use code blocks, like my kid has a, what the hell is it called? She uses something like Scratch. Thank you, Wolf. Yeah, you would know.
My kid too.
But my daughter loves Scratch, right? Making funky shit in Scratch. And the code blocks remind me very much of what Unreal Engine 4 has. Obviously much simplified. But the fact that that's where we're at now, where anybody can grab this engine for free, and it's a powerful, nice-looking engine. I mean, for the last, how many years? 5 years at least, almost everything is powered by Unreal Engine 4, and now moving on to 5. So it's really neat that you can do something like this. This is awesome. This reminds me, there's a... Sorry?
A lot of people are using 5 nowadays, right?
Yeah, now it's picking up steam.
Yeah.
Unintended joke.
Got him.
There's a guy in TikTok I've been watching, and similar to this, he had like a dumb meme-worthy idea of dinosaurs, a fighting game with dinosaurs when they're holding swords, like in their mouths. So it's a velociraptor with the Buster sword, like Cloud would use, and he's flipping around in the air and attacking. And it got enough traction on TikTok and YouTube. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to make a game. I'm going to do it. I've never done it before. No experience, but I know how to 3D model. I'll make my models. And he's been slowly putting together shots of of dinosaurs, like a T-Rex with a sword in its mouth. And eventually it'll be a game. The fact that that can happen is awesome. I love that stuff.
It is.
I want you to talk to this person, though, and throw out the idea of a breaker sword in a T-Rex hand, because that would be hilarious. And I now want to see this.
Just flailing around, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
You'd have to use a whip or something that has a little reach.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, that's my game. That's the one I was going with. So again, go check out Choo Charles. Even if you just watch videos of people playing it, it's worth the sit down and to check out, because it's an extremely unique take on the horror genre.
Yeah,
which leaves us to
this is one I really wanted to play and haven't yet, even though my kid has it. And of course, my kid has it. He bought it at 10 years old.
Right?
Has he played it?
It's good.
Yeah, he played it for a few hours, and it creeped him out too much, so he's kind of stopped playing it.
I can't imagine why.
Can't imagine
he
why.
Loves the idea of horror more than he likes actually experiencing horror.
I was gonna say, for his next birthday, are you getting a Visage?
Yeah. No.
I mean, he sat and watched Megan with me, so I mean,
don't get him Visage.
Don't get him Visage.
No. But he has access to my library because, again, shared library. So
right.
Oh, so do we get a wolf pup? Oh, my fucking.
His is usually date it frick.
There it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's funny. I think it's hilarious that he says that kind of stuff, because he'll actually cuss around me if it's just me, just the wife. He'll cuss around us. He's allowed to, as long as it's not excessive and ridiculous. But when he's playing online, he's clean mouth for some reason.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, good for him.
It's all about the presentation, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of presentations, Jake, what have you brought for our presentation today, sir?
Chard, you're the master of segue this week.
I'm killing these things.
Nailing it.
Hang on, Jake. Are you ready?
Oh, I have to be now. I'm the last one today.
You set up. I probably should have waited and asked you that before.
For the guy who didn't want to host
only
this
been
week, you're
doing
on the
this
ball.
for 47 minutes, but maybe you need more time.
Hold on, let me Google search a video. No, I actually recorded my own gameplay for this one.
I have a video. It's a Discord.
Yeah, but I actually played it. I actually recorded my own footage, so for once I don't have to credit anybody else. So I'm gonna, put it up on the screen. Thank you very much. There you go.
Sorry.
Enjoy. I'll let the video describe its. Give the presentation for me. I don't have to say a damn thing. My game is what's it called? Gravitron 2. My game is Gravitron
2. Yeah.
Gravitron 2. It was made by a gentleman named Ron Bunce. He's an indie developer from a number of years ago. He took part in London Dare competitions and all that kind of stuff. He has a number of games. Well, he had a number of games on his website, but their website has been defunct for almost 10 years. So the reason why I'm going with Gravitron 2 and not Gravitron 1 is because their website has been offline forever, and it's basically lost to time. I can't find it anywhere. But that was the one I originally played, was Gravitron. And but number 2, I'm glad I found it. Didn't realize it existed until we were thinking of the vehicle idea for the episodes, and I was researching it, and I was able to get a copy of it. It's actually, the second game is still sold on Steam, so you can absolutely go buy it. I think it's like $5. But what it is, for those who don't know, well, I guess most of the people don't know, it's a modern take on the vector arcade games of the 80s, early 80s. So if you are from the 80s and you played things like Gravitar, which, thank you Sinister for finding that earlier, or Thrust, or any of those vector space games where there's a gravity involved, almost like if Lunar Lander had a gun. Think of kind of like that idea.
Yep.
But it was made in 2008. The graphics are damn pretty. I mean, I know it's a simplistic line art, but it's a lot of glowy effects, a lot of different enemies. There's, I think, a dozen enemies over across the countless stages. But it's an arcade, a gravity flying shoot 'em up kind of thing. And the goal is your ship descends onto a planet, and you have to find one or more, I guess, power cores, power plants. And you have to get down there, blow it up, and then escape before the planet explodes. And there's other games I've done that trope, but it's really well done here with a whole ton of variety. And it's hard as hell. So, like, there's two different campaigns. And when I first spun it up, I accidentally started the challenge campaign without realizing it. And I spent a good 20 minutes on the first stage trying to remember, do I suck at video games? Have I ever been that good? But then I realized I was in the wrong campaign, and I tried the original, and it's a lot easier. But yeah, it's an awesome game with a really cool aesthetic to it, with glowy lines. And I like how
this is.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is pretty. This is pretty.
Yeah.
And like, cool. You know what it reminds me of is, I know Atari's been trying to redo a bunch of the Atari 2600 games, and they call it their Recharge series. So there's like a new Yars' Revenge, there's a new Asteroids. None of them look as good as this, and this game came out in 2008. Like, I don't get it. Like, something about the line art style he's done here is just really pleasing even now. And even though it's an old ass game, I mean, how funny is it? A game that is inspired by retro is nearly retro itself, right, from 2008.
Right.
It's pretty wild to me. So this is the second game. There was one on the Xbox 360, and it was part of Xbox Live Arcade indie games, and that's the part that kills me, because Xbox 360 emulation is fantastic nowadays with Xenia, and there's even support for Xbox Live games, but not Xbox Live indie games. So there's a whole library of the indie games you can't play on emulation today, and I hope that changes. It has something to do with the .NET requirements of that, and not wanting to emulate that, I guess. So it might step on toes with Microsoft. So that's kind of a disappointing thing. But you can play this. It's on Steam for $5. Easily 100 stages. And the enemies are just wild, right? Like, there's like ones that shoot missiles that will track you in space. You have a shield. You can throw up your shield. It uses your fuel, but you can use a shield, but then it bounces you across the map. Lots of moving segments, right? Like, it feels like there's some stages that feel like almost like Star Wars at the trench run. As you're flying to the Death Star, you're going to the belly of the planet, and there's moving bits and pieces. And the longer that you have to go into the planet's core, you always got in the back of your mind, crap, I have to fly out of here when it's all said and done. And that part can be just as challenging as getting down there in the first place. It's a wild game, and I don't think anybody's played it. Which is a shame.
The graphics remind me of Gravity Wars. Did you ever play Gravity Wars?
Gravity Wars.
It's another indie game. It's a beautiful game for an indie game, but it's also that vector graphics kind of thing. If you haven't played Gravity Wars, check out Gravity Wars. It's awesome.
Okay.
So,
I played Geometry Wars, which is another 360 game with a similar art style that still holds up today, which is what I love about it.
Gravity Wars and Geometry Wars, I think, are very similar. So,
yeah. This is a wild game. Like, it's the thing that's odd to me though is the website was down. Like, I went to archive.org to dig up information on this game. That the website came down in 2016, I think it was, and the guy's like disappeared. I can't find him, any trace of him on social media. I can't find any forum posts, Reddit posts, nothing. It's like he literally fell off the face of the planet. I found like a short bio on a wiki that said he's married with 3 kids, and then that's it. That's all I got. And it's a shame because this is a fantastic game, and maybe I know sometimes with indie game development, it doesn't always pay the bills, so I get it. But man, I really wish this did well enough to get a sequel. I saw there's a prototype for a 3D version of this, Gravitron X, that I think you can download and play, but nothing from the creator. Like, he's completely disappeared. It's a weird thing. But as we get further in going forward, all the stuff that we used to play and watch on the internet is now getting older and older, and now we have this like potential like abandoned everything, abandoned media, abandoned games that we're losing stuff to. And it's interesting to me. I mean, it sucks in a way, but it's interesting that a game like this could almost disappear if it wasn't for Steam.
Yeah.
Very interesting take, because I watch Gamers Nexus on YouTube a lot, and with the NVIDIA 50 series that just came out, they dropped 32-bit support for PhysX, which is another one of those problems, because we're losing I mean, you'd think, oh, it's just 32-bit support, whatever, but like it's that game preservation thing, right? Like, one of the things that Gamers Nexus showed is, this is a product that was sold as a reason, or a product to use by game developers, that's now not supported anymore, right? And so now we're running into the issue of, I mean, the emulation that's already there for 32-bit PhysX is really poor. So what do we do, right? So I mean, yeah, that's it's easy to emulate that old stuff, that 8-bit or 16-bit stuff, but what are we going to do when we get to 64-bit stuff that we really have to care about, or 32-bit?
Yeah, anytime like the situation I have now with Microsoft that drives me nuts is they're basically forcing Windows 11 on everybody this year, right? Trying to get away from 10.
Yep.
Not to say the 10's great or anything, but I hate when they hard cut OSs like this, and because there's a lot of things that are supported in 10 that don't work in 11. So it just the more we get away from this stuff and don't have a way to still play it, sucks. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I like, and when it comes to the 360 version of this game, I really want to play it. I was really hoping that when I saw the Xbox Live games were emulated well, I was really hoping that included the indie games. I'm kind of disappointed it doesn't, because the games like this, like the one that's the X version of this, the Xbox 360 version of this, looks really rad too. But playing this one, I mean, you can download the source code if you know where to look. It does have a level editor. I don't know if anybody's brave enough to try and sit down and make a level pack for this game, but the fact that you can is really rad. Everybody I've seen that played this game, at the very least, it's always that's neat, or that's neat, or it's cool. But then there's also a lot of people who are like, this is a game that should have gotten sequels. This should have been a full franchise. This should have made more money, I think, than it did for its creator, which is a shame. But $5, it's hard to go wrong with this game. There's a lot of game here. Also runs well on the Steam Deck, for those who have a Steam Deck.
One of the downsides is, you said this was what, like 2010, 2013?
2008.
2008.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that was the era of most gamers being like, if it's 2D, I'm not interested. If it doesn't have super pretty 3D graphics, I'm not interested. That was like a huge identifier for most of the gaming market for some time there, and it was ridiculous. Like, it's nice to see that we're not quite there anymore, and stylized graphics are a little more acceptable these days.
Yeah.
And so I think, unfortunately for the guy who developed this might have been more successful now than then.
Right.
Had
Yeah.
it just come out in the last few years.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think that, right?
Well, especially
By
like,
the
like I
way-
said with Atari. Atari's really trying to push their reimagining of their classic games, and they just don't hit. They just don't feel the same as the originals. And I think if Atari tried to do something new, inspired by their old titles, I still don't think they can pull it off. I think there's companies that are trying. Like, I know Digital Eclipse always tries to do a reimagining of something in their collections, and they're usually pretty decent. But you're right. I think if he were to release this game in 2025, I think it would have been a different audience entirely. Like, this is a pretty solid package.
It looks good.
Especially in 2006, like you said. Like, this is it was a small audience to begin with, and
Yeah.
I do feel like the gamers who would be embracing of this kind of game are just bigger in number now, like massive compared to then.
Right.
I do want to throw out, because you mentioned apparently you can get the source code for some of this stuff. Total well, I guess it's a segue, but EA recently just pulled a very non-EA move, and is releasing the source code to Command & Conquer Red Alert, and a bunch of the command. And so, like, honestly, to me, that's almost like the future of like game preservation, is we need more of these studios to release the source code, because I think the community would be like, hey, cool, we'll make it go work on modern hardware, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, if they're not going to monetize it, and they know it, then why not give it up to the community to just kind of run with it and do their own thing, right? That's why I always like it when somebody, like when you have a fan community that brings back a dead game and they recreate the servers and all that stuff. I know offline we were talking about Unreal Tournament 4, or 2K4, which is like a dead game, right? And it's something that Epic has basically abandoned. They're not going to do anything else with it. So fans have kind of done it themselves. They've set up a way to do servers on their own. That's great that they do that. And as long as the company's like, we're not going to sue you, those are the ones that I appreciate the most, right? Don't stand in the way of game preservation. That's my big stance on it.
Wait, so don't be Blizzard?
Yeah.
Or Nintendo, or EA in most instances, except for this one.
I'm specifically picking on Blizzard because of the whole BNet BattleNet thing, right? Like, there was an open source product that let you play Blizzard games. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this looks cool. This might be something I actually pick up. So I was looking at it on Steam going, maybe I should just pull the trigger on that for $5. This looks pretty fun. And as you say, if it plays well on the Steam Deck, 9 times out of 10, it's something I'm going to play before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Which is not good. So I'm looking at you, Dave the Diver, for taking up all my sleep time. Thank you. And Monster Hunter Wilds. Great. All right. Well, that's it. And we did it again, guys. We made it within the time frame. We're killing it. We're killing it with this thing. As long as Jake and I don't
mostly
talk
retro
about Monster
this
Hunter
week.
Wilds for an hour and a half.
Well,
if it's all four of us talking about individual games over a period of an hour, we can do it. If it's Jake and I talking about one game, we're going to talk for 2 hours.
Yeah,
well,
that's how it goes.
We're gonna spend the next hour talking about Trent again, right?
Yes, we got another hour of Trent Reznor.
No, I want to hear about this band called More Than Jake. What is that? Is that what it's called?
Less Than Jake.
Less Than Jake. I love Less Than Jake. They did my favorite song. Hurt.
What's his name? The actor that's so loved by the press B. Go watch his clip.
Oldman.
Yeah, go watch Gary Oldman's clip
Gary
on the Colbert.
I'm glad I found that.
It's fantastic.
I didn't see that.
He's
yes.
in tears.
Yeah.
I'm glad he has a sense of humor like that. I did not expect, like, of an actor of his level and how he transforms into his roles, for him to laugh at fart jokes is just amazing.
He's like in tears laughing.
Yeah.
Like he was a mess. It was hilarious.
Although him as Zorg was, I think he can't take himself too seriously if he's Zorg.
Yes.
From Fifth Element.
Yes. We watched that the other night.
Yeah.
Well, to quote better than Ezra, it was good. This was a good episode. Living with you at home. Anyways, this was a lot of fun, guys. I think we've also touched on a lot of games that we may have not even thought about. Obviously, Sea of Thieves is a very popular game amongst a lot of people, but it's still super fun. Crimson Skies looks cool as hell, and I'm like I said, I'm probably gonna pull the trigger on your Gravitron too.
And Choo Choo fucking Charles, man.
Well, I played and beat Choo Choo Charles, so I'm already done with that one.
But it's a fantastic game,
and that's the point. And I think as a group, we're always trying to find something that's a little off the cusp than your standard stuff. Please don't go listen to the Monster Hunter Wilds since everybody's playing that, and Jake and I are just completely obsessed with that game right now. But I like when more of us bring some stuff
Worlds
to the
is
table.
better. I heard Worlds is better.
You should. No, it's not. You're wrong completely, and it's not easy. But anyways,
wait. Weren't you guys called World Babies in the?
We were called World
comments?
Babies.
I'm not gonna dignify that with a response. I played the old Monster Hunter. I played the original.
He did. Jake has more clout than I do. I'm the World Baby. He's not.
It's fine.
I've never played a Pokemon game, so it's fine.
Yeah, it is kind of like giant monster Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go stab your Pokemon in the head. Anyways, all right. So moving on. This has been another fantastic episode of Press B to Cancel, guys. Is there anything that we've got going on? Let's go around the circle. Sinistar, you have anything that's on your plate, your plateaus?
DJ stuff. If you're listening tonight, which is Friday the 21st, tomorrow we're doing a raid thing over on Soul Archaic's channel. We're doing a raid thing. But mainly the DJ stuff. I've been suffering through trying to figure out how to play my Sisyphean game, which is really just me trying to get up the oomph. So, we'll see.
Sisypheans. That's why they're called that.
Yeah, I'm bouncing off my Sisyphean. It's yeah.
It's just...
He hasn't even downloaded it.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah. Have you even played it yet? Have you even installed it 6 times yet? Because if not, then you're not doing your job.
Well, I definitely
better be 6 at least.
Look, I've definitely installed it at least 3 times because I've had like 3 computer iterations since I played that initially. Considering that was that my first Press B or was
it was before you were on the guest?
Adventure?
Yeah,
okay,
you guested for it.
Yeah, I should finish that someday. It was my first Press B episode.
I love that you were on an episode and didn't even fucking play the game.
No. I played.
Finish it. Sorry,
I played the shit out of that game for like the first while. Yeah. I love the game. I just it's I don't know. I probably should have picked something
Elder
like
Scrolls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have been like, I'm gonna beat 10 levels of Tetris. That's my Sisyphean game.
There you go. Good Lord. Wolf, what do you got coming up there, buddy? You got anything going on?
Yeah, I've recorded some videos. I need to actually sit down and edit them and put bumpers on the front and back of them. But I did some demos, and if people actually like those, I might keep it going, calling it Demo Day, releasing once a week.
Nice.
And then I also recorded some videos of me playing Morrowind, trying to actually play through it seriously, that I was going to put on my channel. So,
okay. Perfect.
I need to actually put bumpers on those and upload them, and I'll be good.
Yeah,
right.
Morrowind is one of my favorite games on PC era.
Yeah.
Like I know there's some hype
I've
around
fallen
the Oblivion.
in love with it all over again, just playing it.
Like I know there's hype about a possible Oblivion remake that's supposed to be coming out on Unreal Engine 5. It should be any time it gets announced. But for me, it's always Morrowind. I wish they would go back and do a remake of Morrowind.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
you could just play one of the 8 iterations of Skyrim, though.
Skyrim's too simplified and repetitive.
Wow. Well, it's so repetitive that they've released it 20 times.
Yeah. See how repetitive it is?
It's been Game of the Year for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but this new version's like got VR support, or this new one's got new textures. They're totally different games. It's
totally
fun.
Completely different. It's a complete upgrade. Jake, what do you got going on, buddy?
Well, winter is done, so that means my busy time at work is almost over. I hope so I can kind of have some of my free time in my life back. Because there's some things I want to do, and I'm gonna save announcing it until probably April. But yeah, I've been working on something. Definitely, I appreciate anybody who's listening to Press B. We've definitely had a boost in audio listeners, which has been fantastic. I know through work from you guys, we got a number of followers on Twitch. I think we're almost at 40 on Twitch. And then for YouTube, we're almost at 200 followers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube, which is fantastic. So thank you to anybody who's dropped that follow. We do appreciate it, because we're slowly getting the numbers up, and it's been paying off.
Totally. This is fun to do. We love doing this, guys. We absolutely love coming in here, and we hate missing Fridays. And when life gets in the way of it, we are somber, to say the least, when we're not able to sit down and do this stuff with you guys. So
yeah, I cry in the corner every time.
He does it at the beginning of the podcast too, and at the end. So
yeah,
is that a band crying in the corner?
He cries in a bag of milk.
It's a cover song by my favorite band, 9 Inch Nails.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a song for Crybaby with Johnny Depp. That's I don't know if anybody knows that frickin' movie. Anyways,
I do. It had Ricky Lake.
It did. As for me, I'm for once, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm not doing anything useful to anyone or anything. So I apologize about that. I will be back though. I'll be back to streaming and doing all that stuff. Chardmonk is not dead. He's just Chardmonk's sweepy. He's sleepy. He's tired. He needs a little break. And I want to be able to focus my attention on the Press B to Cancel podcast and trying to get the name out there more and do some videos for it. But I just haven't had a chance. And if Monster Hunter can release me from its clutches long enough for me to get my head out from under a Rathalos or a Raytheon, that would be fantastic. But as of right now, I'm getting smothered with it, which is good in a good way. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. As for us, we are part of the SuperPod Network, where you can find a whole bunch of other great podcasters along with us that are talking about retro games. 3Duo, Nintendo Remember 64, a bunch of great people that we've worked with in the past. Jake has been working with them diligently and has done phenomenal episodes with some of the other people of that team. So go check out SuperPod Network and find us there. You can also find us at pressbtocancel.com or pressb.org. If that's still a thing. I don't know if we're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for it.
We are. We're there. You can come find us there, as well as our Discord. Come and find us on Discord. Tell us what your favorite vehicular type game is that's out there. If you like a Grand Theft Auto, fantastic. If you like, I don't know, Wave 64, something like that. I mean, any of those games would be great to talk about. What?
We didn't pick Wave 64.
Sonic Racing. Sonic Racing Evolved, man. Sonic Racing Evolved.
Paperboy 64. Jake just did an episode about that. And he said,
isn't it Wave Race 64?
It's not Wave 64.
Whatever. The one with the ski-doos.
Yeah.
Ski-doos. Can ants drive ski-doos? Anyways, that's another reference that probably few people will get. Yeah, this has been an episode of Press B to Cancel. Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening to us. Again, as Jake, to reiterate what Jake said, thanks for all the new listeners and old listeners. And yeah, we will talk to you guys next week with another exciting episode of Something About Something. Until then, this has been Press B to Cancel.